Let's continue. We're going to delve in further, in fact, to this next chat because the Market Photo Workshop is thrilled to host World Press Photo's 70th anniversary exhibition. It's a milestone celebration of 7 decades of powerful images that have shaped our understanding of the world. Now, this exhibition showcases the best of photojournalism and highlights the impact of award-winning photographs and global perspectives. And so one of Africa's leading photojournalism and visual literacy schools, MPW's hosting of this exhibition underscores international recognition and commitment to promoting visual storytelling. So for this chat, let's delve in further. I'm going to be joined by Kona Dlamini, of course, Manager of Programs and Projects at the Market Photo Workshop. Kona, very good morning. Thanks for your time.
Good morning. Thank you for having me.
What an exciting time to be able to look back in hindsight and reflect on the impact of photojournalism, right? How far we've come as a nation, archiving our history, aiding to our healing, but also reminding us of the necessary gaps and conversations that we still need. I don't know where one begins. How you even break down each decade? How do you choose? How do you not choose something? Tell us about what's being highlighted this time around and how difficult this challenge must have been for you.
It was, so this is an exhibition from World Press Photo. World Press Photo looked into their archive. They commissioned Christina de Middel, who's a very well-known photojournalist, to look through thousands of images over 70 years worth. Christina finally came down to over just 100 images spanning the 70 years. The idea behind that is, besides just celebrating the work that photojournalists have done in showing us the world around us, but also to start thinking critically, looking at visual patterns. What are the things that have been done over the years that have resulted in other photojournalists, newer generations, emulating the same visual patterns? And which ones work and which ones might need some critique for us to think, does this actually reflect what we intend to say to the world?
Yeah, I wonder even through sifting through all those images and sort of how the 100 images were chosen, how much of the communities involved were part of it, how much of the photojournalists, I know many of them would have passed away, but in terms of that representation and that lens, was that also intentionally added in? How did you go about honoring them?
So what happened was, these are all photojournalists that have won the World Press Photo Award.
Okay.
So over the last 70 years.
Okay.
So their work is part of the World Press Photo Archive. So the World Press Photo then went through, but what they did do is also, where possible, they were able to actually contact the photojournalists to let them know your work will be shown so that they'd be aware. Because the idea is for this exhibition to actually travel the world. At the moment, it's here in Johannesburg and in the Netherlands. I know that I think later on in the year it will be in Bangladesh, I think in November, if I'm not wrong.
Okay. Yeah. Kona, what was the most unfamiliar or familiar part for you as you sifted through some of the history? I know that obviously we're always learning and unlearning. What stood out for you?
I think what was interesting, when you start looking at this collection of images in one place, you notice the patterns. I think when you see these images on the cover of a newspaper or on a website, you don't see how it relates to an image from, I don't know, 1975 or something. Wow. So that was interesting for me to see that actually there are patterns that are ongoing that even I wasn't aware of. Yeah.
I'm even just looking at the way it's evolved, right? And the relevance as well with citizen journalism coming to the fore. Perhaps also just the fact that we all have access to a camera and a lens. But the interpretation, though, is obviously also subject to, to different views. So talk to us about that evolution, how it's also perhaps made what this art is more sacred at this point.
I think what has happened, and this is where it's very interesting when it comes to these visual patterns, because on the one hand, they can be dangerous, but they also actually make it easy for us to read images and understand them. So once you've seen a certain type of image, I think one I like to make an example of is what is called the Pietà, which is the original one would have been Mother Mary cradling Jesus after the crucifixion. Quite often you will see these types of images, especially in war situations or during pandemics, someone's mother carrying their child. So that pattern carries over, and when we see it, we know exactly what it means. It's somebody caring for their child.
Yeah.
So I think there are some patterns that have stayed on that we recognize very easily. But what has happened with the advent of social media and images being everywhere, we're also seeing people recreating the same patterns, but also new visual languages emerging.
Yeah, I'm wondering what legal protection has to come from that as well, especially in this digital age, right? And copyright. I mean, is that something that also gets explored and touched on?
Not in terms of the patterns, because quite often people are just capturing what they see in front of them. It just might happen that the pose is a pose that's similar to something else that someone else would have made at a different point.
Okay, yeah. I mean 70 years, so we're going to envision the next 70 years. What does
hopefully. Yeah, I think a big part of this is also for us to look back and look at where have we I think harbored on the same sort of pattern. What can we do going forward? One of the things I like to talk about is how, for instance, there's a section on black skin on the dark continent. And the issue for us as black people and as Africans is that there are ways that Africa has been portrayed as a continent that's not only unknown, but also unknowable. And the visual patterns that seem to reinforce this have been throughout all media, even in South Africa, unfortunately, even though we're in Africa. So I'm hoping that looking at this, we'll be able to reflect within the news media field, photojournalists, practitioners will be able to reflect and rethink how they actually relate Africa back to us. Same with black skin.
Because I wanted to ask about decoloniality and how we decolonize the archives, what we choose to, what lens we choose to look at, how that adds to our agency at large. Were you left with hope as well, if we conclude in that twofold sentence?
Yes. I think it's an exciting time for visual culture.
Okay.
I think there are a lot of people who are thinking very critically and looking at how to represent the world differently from how it's been done in the past. So it's exciting times.
Congrats, 70 years later. Let's see what the next 70 years will be reimagined. We'll have other people looking back, I guess if we're still around, right? Who knows? All right, Kona Dlamini this morning. She's the manager of programs and projects at the Market Photo Workshop, chatting about the exciting feat, of course, World Press Photo's 70th anniversary exhibition. Testament to the power of photojournalism in shaping our understanding of the world, but also providing, in hindsight, where we've come from and where we need to be headed. She's left with more hope, and this is good. So we'll leave the conversation there and be right back after this. More news at the top of the hour.